Hi, in case you have no idea who I am, my name is Cassie and this is Dose of DIY. And this is where I talk through all of my DIY projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, be like Nike and just do it. Just subscribe. Anyways, I'm gonna talk you guys through how I did my awesome new privacy screen. I'm super excited about this project, but if you are like me and you live in a condo and you have restrictions from your HOA, or if you're renting an apartment, or if you don't trust yourself enough to like do some permanent fixture, a privacy screen is a great way to upgrade your outdoor living space. So even if you have like a pretty private space, just adding it can make it feel more luxurious. On the other hand, if you do have like a more open like backyard or outdoor living space, then you would like some privacy from your nosy neighbors. Then a privacy screen is another way to make it feel more intimate and cozy. And I also happen to not have any lighting on my balcony, so it gets really dark at times. So I also wanted to add solar lighting, but that's optional, you don't have to do it. But even with the solar lighting, it was about half the price of what you can get on Amazon. So this is definitely a more affordable option, and it has cool features. Even if you're a beginner, I definitely think this is something that is doable for anybody. So let's dive in. All right, so step one is to get the wood. So first I got these two thicker boards that were 2 inches by 2 inches by 8 feet. Then for the horizontal one, I got 1 inch by 2 inch by 8 feet ones. And I decided that I wanted it to be 4 feet wide because I just wanted to cut it in half to be the most cost efficient with the lumber. I wanted the space between them to be the same size just because I have OCD and that's what I want it to be. They say they're like 1 inch by 2 inch, but that actually means that it's usually about 1.5 inches. So I did the math to figure out how many I would need, and I found out that I would need about 17. But you can save cost if you want to like spread out more or not go as low at the bottom. Like for example, for mine, I had like this love seat. So if I wanted to save some money, I could have just not gone as far down since the love seat was going to be there. So that's another way to cut down on cost. Note, do not make the same rookie mistake that I did. I bought it a little damp, didn't realize that wood takes forever to dry, but just like buy it dry because it was a pain in the butt. So. Step 2, this was cutting the wood. I have like a miter saw that I was using, so I just sawed it at home. If you don't have a saw, then sometimes like the home improvement store by you, they'll offer to saw stuff for you, so they just ask them to cut it in half for you. Or a lot of them, they'll like loan out or like rent out the different tools, so those are different options. Step 3, I sanded it. You can do just like a regular like sandpaper or sanding block, something like that. I am lazy, so I did an orbital sander. So that's like one of those ones that just like and like sands it for you. And you don't really want to be inhaling all those sanding particles or getting in your eyes or anything. So I put goggles and a mask, and then you want to make sure that you vacuum it, sweep it all up, shop vac it, however you gotta do it. But you want to get all that like sand and dust out of there, because otherwise when you're like painting your wood, it's gonna be easy for all that sand to come in and make it all bumpy. So you don't really want that. Step 4, it's time to paint it. So I use the Rust-Oleum paint, and it's like meant for like outdoor stuff, and it's supposed to like cover basically anything. And I just picked Rust-Oleum because I've used it on a lot of things and I trust it, and I'm kind of weary to try new brands out. If you are going to use the paint that I did, it was really white and blue when I first opened it. It looked even like worse than this. Like I just took this before I started filming, after I had started. It also was sort of like lumpy. I know you're like, oh, this girl's crazy, but just trust me, just stir it for a while. If you want to spray paint, then look for this thingy up in one of these corners for my like tips and tricks on how to do spray painting. But you could also use a paint sprayer, and if you're gonna do that, then again, look for this thingy in one of these corners, and I have a whole video walking you through the paint sprayer that I have. Step 5. Now we're gonna be attaching our horizontal boards onto those vertical boards. So I wanted to use my brand new cordless nail gun. I asked my coworker Zach, but he's like kind of a wood guru, so I was like, okay, I trust Zach, I'm gonna ask Zach. And one day I'm gonna get him to let me feature one of his projects. So I asked Zach for his advice just because I was worried if I used my nail gun that like if it's thinner, is it gonna split it? Do I have to do anything special or anything like that? So this is his response. I think nails would totally be fine. Shoot them from the back of the thing though, so you don't have to like patch them and stuff. And do 2 to 3 nails at each connection to avoid turning. Oh wow, thanks Zach. Anyways, you can use like a nail gun or just screw it in. But he is a guru and he would have screwed it, but he would have pre-drilled it, so that way if you pre-drill the hole, you're less likely to split the wood. So like I said, I use a nail gun because one, like screwing it would take longer, and I'm lazy and I wanted to use my new nail gun. If you're gonna use a nail gun, make sure you read the manual and all the instructions for using your nail gun. I misread his advice about shooting from the back. So I did shoot it from the front on accident. So I did have to patch it. So afterwards I put on wood filler, and then once that dried, I sanded it down and then painted over it again. But I did follow his advice of using 2 to 3 nails at each connection. So because a thin nail would be easy for it to like go up and down like this, right? But if you have like 2 connection points, you're gonna prevent it from turning. Like it's gonna be like locked in at 2 places, so it won't just like be able to turn like that. If you're gonna use a nail gun, I would recommend don't put your hand on the side of the barb when you're like nailing it in, because there was a few times when it just like decided to like go out to the side, and so obviously I don't want there to be any injuries there. And then also sometimes it didn't go like all the way down, like you would see like a tiny bit of like the nail sticking up, so I went through after and I like hammered it down before I put that wood filler and sanded it down. Step 6 is to put the top coat. I happen to already have a top coat, so I got this Urethane Ultimate Solar Urethane a while ago, and it's water-based but meant for like outdoor stuff. And again, I did it at hand painting. There are clear coats and spray paint. You could still use the paint sprayer for this as well, so no matter what method you're using, you could still put a clear coat. Step 7, we are now going to be placing these solar lights. So I actually took one down and I brought it in. I tried to figure out, okay, where do I want them to go? Like how high up do I want it to go? So if you look at this, I actually took a measurement of how high my left seat was outside so that I knew how high on this it would go. And then once I figured out which bar I wanted it to be on, I knew it was like 4 feet across, 1 foot in from the ends. I marked where the middle point was. It has these 2 holes here, and these are like where you put the nails and then you like hook it on. And so wherever I measured the 1 foot in, that would end up being here, right? So then I needed to measure, okay, like what is the distance from that middle point that I should do? And luckily, the nice thing about this one is that it up here says like 190 millimeters. So now I know it's 190 millimeters. And so then I just did 95 millimeters from that center point that I had marked. And when I did drill the holes, I did pre-drill to prevent splitting. You're gonna take a drill bit that's a little bit thinner than the screw, and you're gonna drill it in first. That way, when you go to screw it in, it's not going to split the wood. It's like already basically made the path for the screw, so it's less likely to split the wood. And another nice thing about these is that it's not like you have to like go out there and turn it on and off. Like it automatically senses the light. So for example, if I were to turn it on, right now it senses the light, so it's not turning on. But if I were to like cover it, because I'm covering that panel, it like turned on, right? And then if it's gonna see light again, then they automatically turn off. The next part that's also optional, if you would like it, if you want to put vines out there, I know absolutely nothing about growing real vines, so I got fake vines. And after I had the solar lights placed, I found a design that I liked, that was spaced out enough, I had enough vine that it didn't look weird. After that, I went in the backside with my staple gun, so it's kind of hard to see in the video, but then I was just like attaching it on the back. That way, because I have a really windy balcony, I didn't want to be like worried about the vines like flying away or anything like that. And this is how it turned out. And it looks super cool at night. If you do add solar lights, it does give it like an even, I think it upgrades it, makes it feel like more luxurious. I also have this planter here where I put another solar powered light in it. I just love the way that like landscape lighting looks. So I've incorporated it in my planter as well as on my privacy screen. So I have finally have an illuminated backyard, but there are plenty of different options that you can use if you are gonna add solar power lighting. So if you look in the description below, I have a link to a blog post I did about different things that you can do to like upgrade your balcony, and I have a whole section focused on lighting, and it goes through a bunch of the different types of solar powered lights, so you can pick an option that works best for your balcony. Alright, who's ready for the recap? Woo woo! Hopefully you did the math to figure out, okay, how wide do you want it to be and how far apart do you want them to be, so you know how many that you need. And then you can cut it to be the size that you want it to be, and then sand it all down. And then when it comes to painting, you can do it like hand painting it, spray painting, or using a paint sprayer. After all of that, then it's now time to attach it. So when you're going to attach it, you could either screw it on or do a nail gun like me. And if you are going to do a nail gun like me, you can listen to Zach and do it from the back, or you can do how I did and just do it from the front, doing multiple contact points. And then if you do it from the front and you have to attach it over, you're going to put wood filler on. After it dries, you're going to sand it down, and then you're going to paint over it again. Once that dries, you're going to put that top coat on to try to prevent it from any sun damage or anything like that. Then after that dries, then it's going to be time to place your solar powered light. You're going to figure out, okay, how high up do you want, and then measure, okay, now where do you want those placements to be? And then after that, if you want vines, keep changing it up until you figure out like a placement that you like. You can staple it onto the back to make sure that it doesn't fly away. And then you're done. And your patio looks great. Hopefully you like this project. I absolutely love how it turned out. I also have a blog post in the description below so that you can get a detailed walkthrough of the step-by-step process. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. You don't want to miss out on my totally cool projects and my amazing self-deprecating humor and my awesome impersonations. The fun is just beginning. So stop being a booger and just subscribe. And to my subscribers, the fact that you watch my content and subscribe, it honestly warms my heart. The fact that anyone would want to watch stuff that I'm doing blows my mind. So thank you so much, and I really, really appreciate you guys.